Hello.
I don't know what. How are you?
It's Sunday Celebration Day.
Can you explain for all the new people who've decided to follow us for chair goodness what Sunday celebrations are?
We celebrate a person that has done some cool stuff because the world is on fire.
It is.
And sometimes you gotta talk about people that help to not make the world as on fire.
That's right.
Yeah.
The world has always been on fire in one way or another. And so we like to find on Sundays a way to celebrate people who sort of are our elders who've led the way to taking a moment to say, hey, we can make this better and easier. And so today we're going to celebrate Helen Thomas. Do you know who Helen Thomas is?
I never know who you're going to celebrate on Sundays.
Well, I don't know if you know this, but things in the White House, in the press room, the press corps, have been awfully silent recently.
It's pretty terrible.
Yeah. And so we don't know why. But there was a person, there's a person named Helen Thomas who would not have let this stand. So Helen Thomas was born in 1920.
Long time ago.
Yep. She, over 100 years. And she was the child of, she actually had one of 9 for Lebanese immigrant family.
Okay.
Yep. And so like, truly like the American story, like grew up in Kentucky, didn't have a lot of money, didn't have a lot of opportunity. A woman in 1920 who was like, I know, I'm going to go to university and I'm going to study English. And she did. And she actually showed up in Washington and she decided she was going to be a journalist.
That's really cool.
It's really cool. And so she basically, you know, like she just was somebody who helped to define for a generation, for several generations, that like questioning authority is one of the most American things you can do. No matter what your background is, no matter where you're going, no matter what you're doing, like the deal is that we threw a bunch of tea into a harbor and said, I don't like it.
Yeah.
And we've continued to do that, and no matter what. And so she actually worked from like JFK. She was in his White House. She was in the press corps. And then she worked all her way through to Obama. So like this lady,
that's a chunk of time.
Think of all of those presidencies: Nixon, Clinton, both. I mean, like this was a person who just would not give up, and she basically questioned every single one of them. And she was one of the few people that she would like allow you to talk, and then when you finished whatever you were doing, she'd be like, "Okay, but you didn't answer the question." And she like consistently followed up and was like, "No, I'm so sorry." She was one of 9. Like she wanted to make sure that her voice was heard, and she wanted to make sure she got her questions answered. And so she did that, and the press corps continuously. And so she like refused to believe in anything like softball questions, things like that. She knew she was there to represent the American people, and she refused to do anything less than that. And again, she was just really like cool. Like she never said like, "Thanks so much, sir." Instead, she'd be like, "That's not what I asked you." And evidently like press secretaries hated when she was there because she was terrifying. Yeah. So, but she like didn't give up. And she was one of like the few, I think she was one of the, where like most news agencies had a seat. She had a seat. Like it didn't matter what news agency she was from. It didn't matter. Like Helen Thomas was there and she was going to get the questions answered no matter what. And I just think that in today's world, as we're trying to figure out, like, is this who we really want to be? Is this actually the nation that we, that, you know, the shining city on the hill, or the, you know,
dystopian hellscape?
Stop. Fire extinguisher. So it's pass. It's pull, you aim, you squeeze, and you swirl. I forget what the last S is, but I took that class. So it's really a thing. Sweep. That's it. You pull, you aim, you squeeze, and you sweep.
Yeah,
and that's how you use a fire extinguisher. Yeah. And Helen Thomas did that. And so she helped to pass a lot of time in a, you see what I just did there? It's pretty cool. She spent a lot of time making sure that America got to be America. From the presidency of John F. Kennedy, like think of just John F. Kennedy and the questions she'd be asking in that press room. Right. And then think of everybody in between. All of those people, the wars that happened, as you know, we're pulling from Carter into Reagan, and the people who had been, held hostage, and then all of a sudden it's trickle down economics to, you know, the moment that Obama won, which must have been insanity, and all the people that worked in that space. Like this woman really did not allow people to get away with things, and she's the one who basically set the tone for the rest of the press corps to say, "That's not enough. Tell me more." And again, I just think that I think we need a few more Helen Thomases in the world.
Oh, definitely.
So I just want to celebrate Helen Thomas today.
It's really cool.
Yeah. So there you go. Helen Thomas. Be a Helen Thomas. Love you. Bye.
Bye-bye.